Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Youth Talk Show. Courtesy of PCEA Unity Youth, where we share real stories from real people with the aim to educate and learn from others' experiences with your lovely host, Eve Kimuro.
Hi guys, welcome to our today's podcast. I am your host Eve Kimuro. Today we're going to talk about youth development, and I am joined by an amazing guest who is going to share more about this. And now let me welcome him. Hi.
Hi. So my name is Martin Omondi. I'm the founder of Youth Aware Initiative, and also I'm a student. I'm a second year student at the African Leadership University in Kigali, Rwanda. And generally I'm a youth advocate.
Amazing. So today we're going to talk about youth development. As you have said, you have an initiative called Youth Aware Initiative. And from the statistics, it shows that 800,000 youth in Kenya get into the market every year. But at the same time, over 80% of these people are unemployed, and how watu, they're just all over. So when you talk about your initiative, I know your focus is on the youth and developing them to become better people, but there are those hao wenye wako huko nje. So what are you really doing towards that?
Okay. First, I think all of this began when I started having issues with our current education system.
Okay.
And it's all stemmed from the statistics you've shared. We have 800,000 people joining the job market every year. That means in just 2 years we have over 1 million young people competing for jobs which are currently not even there. And what I realized is there was a shift in the job market whereby most employees stopped looking for papers alone and now started asking, what can these people actually do? What can our employees actually do? So there was a shift from papers to skills. And that's where Youth Aware started for me. Because even before me joining university, I asked myself, because one thing I knew, I didn't want to go to any school in Kenya. And that's simply because I realized schooling in Kenya was all about cramming. How much can you remember after you've been taught? And if you've not crammed enough, then you're not smart. So hapo tayari there was, you're smart only if you can cram.
True.
And that is what is stereotyping a lot of young people today. And funny enough, if you do a research on how many people in the job market are actually working in fields that they studied for, I think you'll only realize it's those who did technical courses. Most people in all these other courses got into the job market and branched. They got curious, joined other fields, and what was realized is that you could actually do it. Whether or not you studied it, you could actually learn on the job and be very effective at it. And now what broke my heart even more is looking at some of my peers whose lives were cut short because they were not deemed smart by the education system. And they were really skilled at a lot of things. So that's where Youth Aware was born, because I now asked myself, okay, because I can't now tell people go back to school, get those A's. I might as well come together and have programs which will now make people aware of the skills that they have and how they can make use of their skills to now make a better lives for themselves. Yeah.
I love the fact that umesema skills are the in thing currently, because most of the time mimi nikimaliza shule, like when I finish campus, I expect to get a job, which there's nothing. Okay, I believe there's nothing that is tunaweza sema specifically is a job, because everyone has their own meaning of a job. Because if I wake up and I go to Gikomba and get some clothes and come, that will be my job. And for another person it can be a side hustle for someone, but it can be a full-time job for the other person. But someone mwingine anataka kwenda ofisi, and the fact that every as in the education system that we have inatufanya like, if bado sijapata kazi then inamaanisha I will still keep on applying until nipate job, and unapata your age is catching up with you. You find that you're 26 or you're 27 but you're still in the house and there's probably nothing you're doing. So what can these people do? You have talked about the youth aware. What can these people do to stop staying idle? Because it's a kind of a laziness, for lack of a better word. Kukua tu uko tu yani. There's nothing you're doing, you're just waiting. And you're waiting for something that may never come. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay. So first, you know, it's important to realize that this generation has been termed the microwave generation. We want things, but we want things now. If it's not coming now, it's not worth it. We've not learned the art of appreciating the process. It's a process. So we have social media giving us all of these fantasies of you're 24, you're driving a Mercedes. By the time you're 30, you need to live in your own house, have a wife, have 3 kids. That's happiness. So when we get to around 25, we get a mental block because we now feel like we're already failing. I'm 25, where's my car, where's my house? By then I'm a failure, and now you convince yourself that that's the life that was meant for you. But now the flip side of this is we have the internet. And if you just spend some time on the internet, you'll realize traditional careers have been challenged immensely. Forget the blue-collar jobs of the only careers we could know of is one that entailed you going to an actual office, sit down, do a lot of paperwork, and make more money. In fact, if you look today, most of the guys who are bringing in most cash are people who are not doing what we term the jobs. And that's the other thing. You know, when you say jobs, just as you said, we have jobs, and to other people, it doesn't really feel like a job because people now learn to pursue their passion. They're not just pursuing a feeling of, I want to do this as a means to an end. I need this so I can get money, then I'll be done. People now need to start looking at what do I like and what can I do? Where I am, what can I do? In fact, today now, people need to be in careers even before they finish school. And you can see it's been made obvious during this time of Corona, because now people ask themselves, I'm at home, I need money, what can I do? That's the mentality that we need. You need to be asking yourself, okay, I'm here, I need to craft a good life for myself. Also, having been in employment at some point, I can say firsthand, you cannot survive on employment alone. Unless you're working a really good job, you can't survive on employment alone. That, of course, is really dependent on what you want for yourself in life. But if you have this vision of wanting this good life, you need to be asking yourself, how can I get more? And which is also one of the quotes that I live by. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Never be content, and never think that you know everything. Always be on the internet looking, what can I learn? But that's one question that if you do your research, most employers tend to be asking their employees right now, as we now try to move to a post-COVID era. Employers now want to know, okay, during this time when you are at home, what did you do with your time? What new skill did you pick up? What new piece of knowledge did you pick up? Because it's now more of employers wanting people who are more of assets rather than liabilities. And what makes you an asset is what do you know, what can you do? And what makes you a liability, you just go and now wait for them to hold the trainings for you. That's the only way you will grow. So what I think young people need to do is they need to take charge of their lives. They need to now start crafting their own lives. Forget the path that was laid to us traditionally by society. And now ask yourself, what can my 2 hands do? If you can cook, do something about that. If you have, what I realize is we now have an era of social entrepreneurship. What that is you now realize there's this problem in society and you really feel bad about it. So you now try to bring a solution to that problem and monetize it. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're making a living out of it and you're doing something that your heart is breaking for. So yeah.
Wow. I don't know if nyinyi mlikuwa mnai saying that uko high school and unakaa unasema mimi niko hapa shule nangojea ni transferishwe nipeleke shule nzuri, like you there but hauko. So I would like you to point out point, yeah, you're doing something, but then you're not passionate about it because you're thinking that you are expecting something better. But at the same time, that whatever you're doing there, it can produce and make you reach your destiny even faster than what you're expecting. So I would like you to point out on that aspect of developing yourself.
Developing yourself.
Yeah.
You know, the slogan for Youth Aware Initiative is be better, want better, go get better. It's a sphere, it's full, it's a full triangle. Huh? It all starts with you. The biggest challenge, as you've even pointed out, you're here but you're expecting something better, so you're not giving your best where you are.
Yeah.
Starting right from schools. I can tell you for a fact, in high school, I've been to the best of both worlds. Huh? I was initially in Dagoretti High School, then transferred to Aga Khan High School. And before joining Aga Khan, I was like, maybe if I join this school with all these rich kids, life will be better. But the minute I went to Aga Khan, I missed Dagoretti High School. Why? Because school became a fantasy. What I really wanted wasn't there, because I now found myself trying to keep up rather than doing my best. And it's the same without you. You're not doing what you feel you want to do or what you know you'll do best, because you're trying to play catch up with everyone else. And that's the biggest challenge of today, where we have a lot of comparison going on. You're seeing where you are, but you're looking at where your friend is. Then unajiuliza, nilikuwa na huyu shule. Now look where he is, now look where I am. Then again, your mind inakuwa corrupted, then you feel I'm a failure. And how old are you? 20. Because we need to realize that we can't always all be equal. Yeah. We can't always all be on the same level, which is why you need to now start looking at you. How can I myself make myself better? What are the opportunities available to me? What are the resources within my reach? And the biggest one, as I said, the internet. YouTube is becoming a university, so easy. If you look at YouTube, you can get tutorials to doing a lot of things. Get a tutorial on how to make soap, start selling soap. Get a tutorial on how to cook a lot of these foods, start selling them online. The difference is we're trying to do something that's been done, but doing it the same way and expecting it to be done better. We're living in a global village nowadays. Do something and try to beat your competition in how you're marketing your services. I could be in Umo right now, but I now know I want to sell to people in Karen. How do I do that? The internet, social media, Facebook. Just brand yourself, brand your products, your services, and now open up your market. So it all starts here. This is the biggest war you'll have to fight: your mind, your mentality. Once you conquer your mentality and realize it starts with you, think beyond your current situation, and now actually want to make something of yourself, and now go and do it. Because we need to realize that just me sitting down and saying, I want a good life, doesn't do anything for me. You know, we're living in a time, even looking at schools, we have awards for participation. Yeah. You're being awarded because you participated. So you're getting entitled because you just realize, all I need is, I just need to participate, do the bare minimum. Then the universe will conspire and bring me the rest of what I want. So we're not really selling hard work, the process, where you realize what I'm doing now, I might see the fruits of it 5-10 years down the line. And that's what we really need to change today. Your mindset. How are people thinking? How will our young guys realize it's not about where you are sahi? It's not whether unaishi Kayole, unaishi Umoja. We've seen a lot of success stories. We even see a lot of people getting successful but hataki kutoka where they are, because it being there reminds them of their journey. So we need to really focus on the process and realize it starts with you, and no one owes you anything. So just do the best that you can for yourself.
There's this aspect of fear, like if I step out, what will happen? If I step out of this boat, what will really happen? So what can you tell people concerning fear and just stepping out? Because obviously we will fail many times, but there's that aspect of mimi naogopa, sina mtu akunishikilia. Yeah, those aspects.
Okay. You know, what I deem a success is someone who's, you know, every time you fail, you didn't fail, you just realized one way that didn't work. So you're actually someone who's living through a guide, working sheet. You know, okay, I did this didn't work, I did this didn't work. So don't call it I failed, just say I discovered one way that didn't work. You see, so it's all about experience. And we also need to realize that it's always good to fail forward. Don't fail and now sit down. I tried once, it didn't work, okay, I'm done. You always need to realize it's always in the doing that you know what worked, what didn't work. And so even in moving forward, you know, okay, so this path was wrong, this path was right, this path was right. And that also puts you in a position to be a mentor to someone else, because there's no benefit to going up the ladder alone if you're not helping anyone around you. And the best way to help people is for you to now be in a space where you can tell someone confidently, this one might not, because you've been there and you've learned moving forward. Now the other thing is we need to learn how to take calculated risks. It's not just about risking, it's about calculating the risks. And also asking ourselves, because the biggest challenge is fear. We now need to ask, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? And you'll realize the worst thing that could happen will happen with you not doing it. Because with you not doing what you want to do, you'll always live with the thought of, now by the way, what would have happened if I tried? So it actually gives you a better feeling knowing that I tried and I know it didn't work, rather than being in a space of just saying, I know it won't work, but I've not tried it, I just know. Najua turango endanganyangi. So the best cure for fear is simple, just do it. There's no other remedy. And you realize fighting fear is fighting yourself, which is very hard to do, because you're not fighting something that you can look at and saying, hey, this is what I'm fighting. You're fighting yourself, you're fighting the stereotypes that you've believed, you're fighting the stigma society has given you, you're fighting the pressures society has given you, and you're also fighting the comfort that you're currently in. You know, when you say comfort, someone might be saying, life yangu si comfortable, so unasema comfort gani? But if you're in a space where you know that you can do something and make something better of yourself, but you don't want to, you're afraid of doing it, you're in a comfort zone. And this is literally why we say the grass might actually be greener on the other side. I use the might, because the only way you'll find out is if you do something about it. Yeah, it's not guaranteed that you'll succeed, chances are you'll fail, but as I said, fail forward. It's the best thing that you can do, because you're now gaining experience. So even when you succeed and now want to move on to something else, as I said, you need to stay hungry, stay foolish. Akunanga kufika. You can't now say that niko na this amount of money in my account, nimefika. So yeah.
So Youth Aware Initiative, what has been your greatest achievements on that?
My greatest achievements have been in the number of young people I've gotten to talk to and actually challenged their thought process. Because I think that's the one thing Youth Aware Challenge seeks to do most. Let me challenge how you think. You can do the rest. Youth Aware isn't there to now tell you I have the solution, because chances are I can't have the solution to every person out there. But as an initiative, if we come forward and find ways to challenge how you're thinking, to challenge what you've believed, and to challenge what you've planned, chances are I've changed the trajectory of your life. So the greatest achievement for me would be the number of young people I've spoken to throughout the country, and seeing how their minds have changed and seeing how eventually their lives have changed.
What are you looking forward to concerning Youth Aware? Because I know you have greater dreams and visions concerning the same.
Okay. Right now we're working on a startup we're trying to launch around the space of tackling youth employment. So that's my priority right now, because I realize rather than also just talking to people, I might as well try and bring other practical solutions out there. So we're working on a startup that will hopefully create a space for mentorship and apprenticeship for young people. So rather than just telling them that it can be done, putting them in a space where they can interact with people who've actually done it,
Yeah.
and also putting them in situations where they can actually get to do it. Yeah. So that's the biggest.
So, hey, you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge concerning all this, and I just hope that people will actually get that perspective of I don't need to have a degree to start, or I don't need to wait for something that is not coming into place. I can actually do something small, and it doesn't have to give me a lot of money, because every now and then we are growing from, or people say, from grass to grace. So we will just grow, no matter how small the growth looks like, it's still a step. So I'm really grateful that you came and just graced this platform, and I know that many people will be encouraged and actually feel challenged that nimekuwa tu nikiwatch series ama nimekuwa tu nikifanya some other things, but there's something that person can do even with his or her mobile phone and get something for growth. So how can people reach you for if someone is interested with Youth Aware initiative?
Martin Omondi on all platforms. Youth Aware Initiative on all platforms. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we have come to the end of our podcast today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for allowing us into your space. Remember to subscribe to our online platforms, that is YouTube and Instagram. So God bless you so much and have a lovely week. Amen.